Joe has finally gotten rid of Benji. 3 days have passed since he and Beck shared their first kiss, and everything seems to be going well. He and Beck are getting along better than ever, but Joe still needs to completely dispose of Benji's body. Meanwhile, Beck meets Blythe and they talk about their writing. Later, Beck shares this conversation with Peach. Beck spends time socializing with her friends, but as always, Joe is watching her. While talking with her friends, Beck admits she's still unsure about Joe, and Joe overhears it. Beck still hasn't fully connected with him and ends up hooking up with a guy at the bar. Joe gives Paco a list of supplies needed to get rid of Benji's body and asks him to buy them. While waiting for the items, Joe invites Beck to go shopping, and she agrees. When Joe picks her up, he watches her with an even stronger sense of obsession. During their shopping trip, Beck realizes her friend's writing is much better than hers and feels down, but Joe comforts her. His words impress Beck, and they are about to get closer when people suddenly interrupt them. After this, they don't talk for a short while. Meanwhile, Benji's body has badly decomposed and begun to smell, so Joe decides to move it out of the basement. The next day, Joe and Beck set up the bed they bought together. Joe gives Beck advice about her writing and her life, and they start reconnecting, until Peach suddenly shows up, looking sick. Joe drives them toward the hospital, but Peach insists on getting out of the car with Beck before they arrive. When Joe returns home, he finds police officers and Ron, Claudia's boyfriend, waiting outside his apartment. They have the list Joe gave to Paco, and suspicion is on him. Using his quick thinking, Joe explains the items are just gardening supplies and shows them to the officers. While Ron still doesn't buy it, the police believe him and leave. With the supplies in hand, Joe heads into the woods and prepares a fire to completely destroy Benji's remains. Beck calls him during this process, but Joe stumbles over his words because 2 strangers approach. He manages to get rid of them and finally finishes the job. Later, Beck visits Joe at the bookstore and tells him she realizes she doesn't really know him and wants to learn more. Joe takes her down to the basement where the glass cage is and talks about his life, his work, and his love for books. Beck begins to feel more connected to him and deletes her dating app. While talking at home with Peach, Peach notices one of her books is missing. It's the same book Joe gave to Paco. She accuses Joe of stealing it, but has no proof. In the end, Joe goes to Beck's apartment, and she welcomes him warmly. Joe has finally gotten what he wanted,